Right. So, very good morning to one and all. And again, thanks a lot for taking your time for being today with us on this Sunday. And I request every one of you to support or rather to be a part of this discussion because the entire topic is totally titled as things to be handled in silence. What are the things that we can handle in silence and what should not be, and how to deal with people around us. This is a very big challenge, like what we were discussing till now with Madhu Garu and Giridhar Garu, everyone. I mean, every day we have one or other point to discuss on this, but we know that there are a lot of challenges with many people. So why is that we need to? This quotation is very, very wonderful. I loved it, so I kept it on the home screen. Silent is not empty, it's full of answers. But the only thing is, when should you be silent and when you should open up, and where you should be silent and where should open up. That's a basic difference many people are not knowing without, because I see that this is a series of sessions that are happening because we had Karishma who spoke about ethics values 3 days ago, after which, I mean, day before yesterday, after which I decided, okay, let me take it on anger. So mixing these two, I now decided, okay, let me go with this particular silence topic, because many people know professionally when to be silent and where to speak, but there are hundreds and thousands of people who doesn't know what to speak and where to speak. So what are the things that you need to do in silence and what are the things we should be doing in open is what I'm trying to speak about. So who are going to be the prime audience for this session? Number one, friends. Number two, wife and husband. Number three, teachers, students, the whole family, employer and employee, business owners with clients, almost everyone. If I have not mentioned anyone, don't mind, but everyone is responsible to know this, just because of one reason, that all these people, whoever are listed out, friends, wife and husband, teachers, they all know what is a silence and they know what to speak, when to speak, where to speak, what not to speak. But the only challenge is, are we all really able to follow it properly or not? So that's the only thing. I mean, like, do we really know what to speak and what not? Let us see one by one. So what happens when we don't speak in time or when it is needed? I mean, like, say for example, now we were discussing, or say Madhu Garu or Giri Garu, as a part of pandemic service, anyone here in the group, if they have gone somewhere to help someone, they have been asking people what you need and they've been talking to them. And when they don't respond, what happens? And do we know when exactly you should speak? What happens if you don't speak? These are the things we are going to see. Number one, you lose an opportunity. This I've been telling to all my students, whoever sits in the training. When you are given an opportunity to speak something, break the silence and speak up. When you're sitting in silence, there is no point of being in that silent mode. Throughout the class, we are all in silent mode. Even post the class, again we are in silent mode. So I don't know what makes the people to be in silent. Trust me, you're really going to lose an opportunity when you're sitting in a very silent mode. So never be that. And then lose trust when someone questions you something, when someone raises an issue on you, when someone raises something against you, or when someone says this is wrong and false, or when someone shows something is negative. Don't be silent all the time. You should know when to speak. If you are very, very, very silent, then you will again even lose the trust from people. They don't believe in you. They say, like, okay, I cannot rely on this person. He never speaks for me. He never works for me. Don't be silent all the ways. I'll tell you when to be that. And people take it for granted. When you are silent, that's what the teacher will do in the class. A teacher will ask a question, or me doing a session, I'll ask a question. If nobody says anything, then what is that? I'll say simple. Okay, it seems everyone have understood. I'm taking it for granted. Now, for example, Madhu Garu, he went to a location to serve someone for on behalf of Red Cross or organization. Now he asked the people or the public over there what exactly you need, or what is the help you're looking for. Now no one says anything. Everyone were just looking at us, our faces. Then after 5, 8 minutes or 10 minutes, Madhu sir will say, "Okay, I'm taking it for granted that you have everything. Since you're not speaking anything, you're very silent. There is no point that I'll take it for. I cannot ask anything." Similarly, if a teacher, if a parent, anyone, whoever is asking you something, when someone questions you something, don't be in silent for a long time. Open up and speak up. If you're in silent, people will take it certainly for granted, which is again a not a right option for people, I should say. Now, people might misunderstand even many times when you're silent. If you have done a mistake, I mean, if you haven't done a mistake, if you did not do that, but if you're still silent, they might misunderstand. I mean, their perception will go in such a way like, okay, this fellow has done this mistake. Why to give an option for someone? There are certain places where we need to open up, but again, how to speak is the question. Breaking the silence is not shouting at someone. Breaking the silence is not arguing with someone. Breaking the silence is not, defending yourself in such a way and creating some anger in someone. There's a way to speak. Now, you break your silence, but only between four walls, only with your most trusted people. Do never involve someone who might create a new problem, because this we see regularly. That's the reason on the first slide I mentioned friends, family, everyone. Even yesterday in the anger session, I have mentioned these points. I have mentioned these points that if you have a problem with your father, speak to him personally in a room where only you and your father are there. If you have a problem with your family, close all the doors, speak in a low volume where your family can only discuss and resolve the problem. You open up. We are not saying like don't sit in silence. You break your silence. You speak with your family, you speak with your friends, you speak with your wife or husband, you speak with your client, you speak with anyone who is relevant to that situation. But when you're breaking the silence, ensure it is done in a silent and a confidential way. Many people I see, they just come out on the roads, they break out, they shout, they scream. It's like we are taking the family respect on the roads. You're taking your business value on the roads. You're taking your self identity on the roads. Where is that we have a respect on this? We should know when to be silent. At the same time, we should know where to break the silence. If you're all in WhatsApp group, if you're not responding, see, I don't know how many of us know what is the purpose of a WhatsApp group. It's not for just good morning, good afternoon, good night, and showing a small smiley face. The purpose why we create a WhatsApp group is that at least post one valuable information in one day, once in a day. People will remember you, people will look at you. If you just remain silent in the group, one day the group will forget you and the entire world will forget you. If I'm sitting in silence that I lost my job during pandemic since 3 months, if I say like I lost my job so I cannot do anything, and if I wanted to sit very silently at home, do you think the world will remember me? People who already know me will also forget me. There is no point that sitting in silence. Then do such a noise in a professional way where people will still be with you. And that's what I'm trying to do every day. I'm still trying to make some noise. And I created a platform called 21st Century Speaker Series, where I'm making other people to make noise, let other people know, let the people look at us and then speak what exactly. See, Giridhar says smiles per second plus silence plus sacrifice. I'm maintaining from 7 years, all problems become double. So it is like a two-sided coin. Only one thing is possible. If you want all happiness, we should be ready to take all the pains. If you're ready to take all the pains, we should be able to get all the happiness. This is what I have learned. I mean, like, this is a life fact because is there any WhatsApp group? Mrs. Jasmine says. I mean, I don't know what exactly is that question. Life is all with two things. People look at the life only on one side. People feel like my life must be happy. My life must be like this. It's never possible. Your life is not going to be there. Is there any WhatsApp group for this webinar? Yes, it is there. So there is always an option. See, yesterday after discussion, a couple of people called me and said, "Sir, why can't you speak on this particular topic?" So I said, "Today I'll take it." All of a sudden, the decision was made at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then I shared it around 8:30. No, the reason why I'm saying all these things is let the people do not forget you. Don't sit in a silence. Why is that people speak up? Why? What is the need to be in an NGO? What is the purpose to be in an organization where you can be highlighted? You do any activity in a good way where people can remember us. This 3 months of time, everyone could have built wonderful platforms, meeting thousands of people or online, and could have made wonderful opportunities. But many people did not do that. There are different types of people who feel like, let me be driven by someone. There are certain set of people who feel like, let me drive by myself. There is a third category of people who says, let me drive only when there is a need comes. All the three have one thing in common. They need to break the silence at one point of time and they should open up. Then why is that we are waiting in three different levels? Why cannot we, why cannot we just put ourselves in a place where people will remember us, look at us, learn from us, or share us something? Today, the reason why I'm in front of so many people, one of my colleague asked me, Karthik, you are conducting sessions. Do you get at least 50 people, 100 people? I say, like, why should I have 50, 100 people with me? Why should I have 50, 100 people with me? There is no point. There is no need. I don't need so many people. Even if I have one person who is ready to listen me, who can break the silence and who can talk to me, who can respond to me, who can react, then that's more than enough. I'm happy with that one. That's the purpose. People say WhatsApp group is like a huge tree where people were like, where all the people will say, okay, everybody is in the group. I'm across, trust me, over 96 WhatsApp groups. But every day I disturb people. Giri Garu, every day he keeps on messaging something or other. Why is that we are doing this? We wanted to ensure that we are existing. We are not silent. We are here to do something. And we are, see, a person who really helps someone, a person who is really there to help someone, will not expect anything in return. Okay. Um, I mean, whenever someone is trying to speak something, I mean, whenever someone is trying to help someone, they don't expect anything in return other than just asking them what else you need. It is very important to know that we should be able to, okay, it should be able to help others, and create a situation where people will help you in return when there is a real need, even if you don't ask. Right, that's very important. So don't say that we are in so many number of groups, but identify how many groups are really recognizing you, how many people are really with you, how many people are really able to listen to you, how many people are really going to understand you. If you're there in a group, even I asked Girigar, sir, I wanted to leave a couple of groups. I said very openly, because it's only me who is talking to everyone on a daily basis, but no one else will respond. What is the point of having that? What is the point of just being in a group talking all alone? I created this platform. I wanted people to speak up. I don't have angry on anyone. I'm not angry on someone. It's just like we wanted to do something, but people, when they are not ready to accept it, where is the point of just being with them? I did my job and I'm leaving. I wanted to make some change. I'm not asking anyone for anything, any help or something. So that means we should know when is that we should speak up. We should know when is that we should be active. Now, now how can things happen? When there is a problem, then what will happen? Talk to the person. These three things are very important. Talk to the person who can understand and clarify what you need. Talk to those who can give an explanation of what has happened and why. Never try to put it in public and get disrespected. That's what I just said 2 minutes ago. If you have a challenge with your friend, don't involve 10 other 20 or other friends where they might literally damage your actual friendship by putting some or other nuisance. If you're a wife and husband, if you have a problem, then talk to you both. I mean, you both sit together and talk to each other, and then try to resolve it as much as possible, but don't put it on the roadside platform and let 100 people look at it and then make a complete damage of it. If you have a family problem, don't get into all these TV channels, or don't get into the media in such a way where your four walls nuisance is getting into a public nuisance. There is a way how you can. The only way to create, I mean, to resolve any problem is to sit and discuss. It might not get cleared in first instance, it might not get cleared in second instance, but it will definitely get cleared in third or fourth instance. Why? A lot of discussion has happened. If say for example, now there is a war between, I mean, there's a kind of a terrifying situation between India and China. Okay, if one of them is attacking and the other is sitting silently, then the issue is not going to get resolved. What is the only solution? Let us go for a meeting, let us discuss with them, let us see what exactly they need, let us see what better can be done. And this is what the governments are doing. If your family has a problem, identify one such person who can safeguard, who can protect, and who can make sure you and your family or your problems are cleared in a confidential way and in a very silent manner. Never ever try to get the things done onto four walls or anything. You're not going to have it, I'm definitely sure. It is not allowed. Right now, Never try to put the things in public. Please do not try to see. I really don't see that there will be a requirement of moving to the courts or moving to the police station for even a silly reason. Yes, you can try to resolve the issue as much as possible when we talk. What is people are going to do? Even if you take your case, a wife and husband divorce case, a family problem, a money oriented case, or any other issue, is something else happening in the court or in a police station? No. Even there, only the discussions happen. When the same discussion is happening there, why can't we do it at home? Why can't we have one such person who is more reliable, who can help us to get it clarified? Instead of running around all those, sit around, talk with people, and then get it resolved. So
Okay.
that's something I thought like, right? I mean, like I didn't prepare any major slides. These are very less. I mean, like we are almost to the fact end because I wanted to take out a discussion on this topic by few people. So that's the reason I'm with limited slides. Hardly have one or two. That's more than enough. So what are the things that should be known? These are some of the things which I really love. So I thought of sharing. Silence is not empty. It's full of answers. Only problem is it cannot be heard. So sometimes it's best to stay quiet. The silence can speak volumes without ever saying a word. There will be such several situations where you must be targeted, there where you will be targeted, and you will be just made a person who did a mistake. But if when you really know that you did not do it, do not burst out, do not speak out. Stay calm for some time. Let the other person argue whatever they want. Let them shout. Let them say whatever it is. Let them come up with whatever the discussion they want. Listen to it completely peacefully and happily. Once everything is done, once they become silent, and when you know that that's the time you can speak, then only you open up the mouth. If we argue in between, what is going to happen? Nothing other than, okay, other than only pulling new problems. Dr. Rajshekhar Garu says, yes, collective bargaining has come to say for solving very, very sensitive personal grievances. Yes, open your mouth only if what you are going to say is more beautiful than silence. This is what I said. You are being argued, you are being kept in a criminal position, or you are being said something wrong, which you know that you did not do that. But still, open the mouth only in that time, in that situation, where everyone's answers will become silent and your silence will become a right answer. I mean, like where your silence breakouts with an answer. So we should know what the right time. Okay, Sandhya says, if we speak to that person is not answering about the problem. Yes madam, I'll come to the question and answers once this slide is done. If we speak also that person is not answering about the problem to solve it, what is that we have to do, sir? That means it's not the right time. He's not ready to answer you at that particular point of time. That means your silence needs to continue for some more time. But if you still think it's getting extended, then no worries. You get someone who can really help you, who can talk to them on behalf of you, where the other person must be willing to talk to the third person, not you. Then probably that silence will definitely come out. Every time others who are not willing to talk to the person, they must be ready to talk to the third person who can really help and get the things clear. So that's the one way. Success people always have two things on their lips: silence and a smile. Absolutely, you should be silent, that's it. Many people have spoken to me in such a way where they have even shown me like, Karthik, you can't do anything. Many started advising in such a way like, Karthik, you are not doing this, you're like this, okay, you are failed. I know what I'm doing, because remember one thing: people around us speak a lot of principles, people around us speak a lot of rule books, but people around us, only very very few people around us will come to help us. And that very few people have seen hardly 4 or 5 people who have really helped me in any emergency. The first and foremost is your family, not friends. The first and foremost is your family. The second is your teacher. Then only comes your dear friend. If you have a problem, first speak with these two. So those people who really wanted to be successful, they don't speak every time. They just do the work calmly and go away. Okay, and they just carry a gentle smile, not even a bigger smile, which again makes a different meaning. So talk only when necessary and to the extent necessary, nothing less, nothing more. This needs to be practiced. Exactly, Ramon sir, you're absolutely true. Next, silence is the best response to a fool. Fools will keep arguing, fools will keep shouting, fools will keep saying 100 things, but if we run away from them, that argument becomes bigger. But if we stay there but still silent, after some time, they might feel like, okay, something is wrong. He's not responding. So let me rethink whether I am right or wrong. In one way, I should say ignorance is something which you can do towards fool, where he cannot shout all the time. Maybe for 1 or 2 days or 1 or 2 hours, after that, he has to be silent. And that's when your time starts. And then you show them what you exactly are. Silence is one of the great arts of conversation. It's a fantastic one. Not that every time you need to speak, but every time if you are silent, but that's a failure of conversation. Never assume that loud is strong and quiet is weak. If you shout at someone, it doesn't mean that you are a Hulk man or you are some heavy person. And if you're not speaking or being quiet, it doesn't mean that you are a patla or you are a very thin fellow who cannot do anything. Even a thinnest fellow can argue very strongly, where the most strongest fellow cannot speak. So it's not about the size physically, it's the size psychologically. So make sure that whatever we are trying to do, our psychological size and strength should be good rather than the physical size. That's more important. Now, dealing with people around us, this is the last topic. Number one, how do you deal with people? Listen to them. Try to listen to whatever people are trying to say. Don't stop in between. Don't argue in between. Don't involve in between. Completely listen. That is what you call active listening. Listen to people completely and then let the people feel like, okay, this guy is listening to me. Till then, you be in silence. After that, you take 1 or 2 seconds or 1 or 2 minutes and then you decide what you should answer. And this is the best formula for many families. And this I've been following, and we have been looking at wonderful results. Just give me 1 minute. Someone has some chat message. Everyone can fool others, but not self-fooling like Monarch, Prakash Raj and Pawan Kalyan. Okay. Stay calm. Right. Stay calm. When some noise is happening about you, you keep yourself silent. Just fold your hands or just leave as if you're not here for any discussion. Just be absolutely silent. Let the people shout, scream, unless or until it's a physical thing. Even then, you just be silent. Because if you involve and argue in between, indirectly you're accepting what they are trying to blame. So let them completely discuss. Till then, you be happy. If you want, you take a small nap, sleep aram se. And once they say, are you sleeping? Yes, I just woke up. Now you tell me what you want. This is something you can do after that, right? Now, do not judge. That's the biggest problem. I really never wanted to judge anyone on anything. If someone says, I'm not ready to pay the money for your courses, I don't ask the questions, why you are not paying? Don't you have the money? Do you think it's coming for free? If you're not ready, it's okay. I don't know what is the actual reason behind it. If you see a student who is failing, who has failed in 10th class, do not judge on a quick line that this fellow has never studied. This fellow is weak in education. Go, break the silence, talk to the person, analyze, understand, see the reality, and then only, if needed, you judge anyone. Don't silently judge. Many of the judgments goes wrong with the third party information. When we don't see the reality, okay, and we believe in someone's answer, we believe in someone's information, and this especially happens in families. Some Tom, Dick, and Harry will come up with a problem to the family, and he says, your son has done this on the road. Does the father really know what the son has done on the road? Never. He never tries to understand what the son has done or daughter has done. He will blindly go away, shout, scream, beat them or beat her, which everyone will be seeing. Before we do that, let us first identify to what extent that the third fellow is true. I know that ఎవడో వచ్చి మనకి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇస్తే దాన్ని నమ్మేసి మనం it's not correct. అందుకే police department లో there is something called FIR, first information report. The first hand information is very trustable. If you have seen it directly, if you have visualized it directly, then only you take an action. Then only you draw a judgment or a conclusion. Without observing anything, now for example, if I'm working in a bank, okay, and someone says to my manager that Karthik has taken away 1 lakh rupees. Okay, no, literally there is no 1 lakh in the cashier box. So now what is the word? 1 lakh is missing, Karthik has taken 1 lakh. Now what is the fact? Maybe when I'm not in the seat, someone must have tried to rob it and taken out. Or maybe while counting, I might have misplaced it somewhere. there are some other options. It's not that I might have directly taken it and used it for my purpose. This is what you call investigation and inquiry. We should take time to understand and analyze the things before you make a judgment. It's not just all about calling the police or shouting at everyone. Talk to the person one on one and then try to understand what exactly has happened. I saw many children being beaten up by parents just for improper second hand information. I saw many people taking a wild, worst, and useless decision just because of second hand information. And this happens, I'm really sorry to say, this happens majorly in love stories. It's not correct. You must have heard something about someone from a third person, but to what extent it is true? Maybe they might have tried to create a story around it. They might have tried to make something around it. Is it really fact? Or did you try to know why exactly that statement has been made? The parent needs to know, the child needs to know, everyone needs to know before you judge someone. No. Reflect respect and dignity towards other person. You need to argue, you need to break your silence, you need to speak something, but still maintain some respect and dignity. If I have to shout at someone, there is a way to do it. If I have to argue with someone, there is a way to do it. If I have to comment someone, there is a way to do it. Let our comments be compliments, but not something which is itching and paining. So we should know how to, respect someone, and that really reflects on us again. Look for the hidden need. Why is this person really approaching me so many times? What is that necessity? Is he really in need of something? Is it really trying to get some assistance from me? Is he really in such a bad situation where he's looking for some sort of assistance? All these things that we are supposed to see, okay, is if there is a real need, yes. Why is he calling me 10 times in a day? Why is he talking to me 10 times in a day? What made him to take so much of time? Why is that I'm not able to get it? So now what is it you need to do here is you just try to identify the need of the person. What exactly is person really trying to gain? Now, for example, where will this happen? I met these people. In fact, Girigar must have met also. Some people will be there who will come very close to us and they'll keep on applying shampoo, soap, whatever is required. They'll keep on grooming us. Why? They might need something from us. Sir. Madam. And the moment you do it, you will not see it again. They will not be visible, not even the next minute. Or what is a person trying to avoid? They cannot open up, they cannot speak up, they are very silent. There is something in the mind, but they cannot open up. They can never open the mind and say, this is what I want. Right? See, if a student is not opening in front of the teacher, that could be because of the marks or attendance. If a parent is not, if a child is not opening it in front of, or if this happens in our house, right? A child will come to a mother, a boy will come to a mother, and girl will go to a father. Daddy, this is the one daddy, that is the one daddy. Now a father will say, Papa, what do you want to buy? Like, beta, what do you want? I'm going to call you. In the double how much money you need? Daddy, I need 50,000 for iPhone. The moment he says yes, next second she's gone. She's nowhere available because she'll start messaging from her existing phone to all the friends like, my papa is giving me 50K for a phone. This fellow will message from his phone, my mama has given 10,000 for a trip. And after 1 month, he'll come to mama. Many will do this because again, there is another trip. Every day we do some kaka program. Never do that. Okay. And then look for others around you. See, next point is look for others around you who might be able to help. That is very important because you need to look around who exactly is there. Okay, if you are at a work and when there is an irate customers, quickly scan to see if a colleague is close by. If you're, see, for example, if you're on the road or if you're on the campus as a faculty, if someone is trying to argue with you, command on you, fight with you, then look out if some other faculty can help. If two students are fighting, then one of the student needs to really look at someone who can really help them. Can someone faculty come and help me? So exactly, you need to look for others when there is a real help needed. And then saying I understand usually makes things worse. Okay, I understand. When someone says a problem, yeah, I know that. I understand that. Rather, see, there's a called difference between sympathy and empathy. Don't show sympathy in every situation. We'll get some 5-finger print on the face. It's not correct. Mokhano ఇది పడతాయండి ఒక స్టాంప్ పడుతుంది I understand, God. Tell me how can I do this? Tell me how can I feel for you, or how this is what I feel for you. See, I mean, like, what should I say? This. Tell me more so that I can understand it far better. Direct one word which is I understand in Avadru. Okay, can you help me to understand it more better where I can help you in a better way? నాకు మీరు చెప్పేది అర్థమవుతుంది ఇంకొంచెం క్లియర్గా చెప్తే నేను మీకు హెల్ప్ చేస్తాను నాకు అర్థమైందిలే అంటే ఇప్పుడు అదేదో ఒక arrogance తో చెప్పినట్టు ఉంటుంది. You should never be arrogant to someone who is really looking for some help. Deal with the people in such a way where they feel like, okay, I can trust this fellow and I can tell him anything. Saying I understand this second time. Don't act defensively. What do you mean by defensively? Every time you don't defend yourself. Because I mean this is something which is a very very tough situation. Okay, maybe when someone okay, when you are with someone you are not actually natural, we are trying to pretend something in sometimes. Okay, so you're going to when is that situation where you defend with someone else? Okay, when the person is very emotionally there, like if he's feeling for something which is really not correct. Okay, now you don't defend it in such a way where he will take it very personal and you take it very personal. Put it in such a way like, okay, I'm there for you. Don't defend everything. Okay, because he's not feeling for you, he's not saying something related to you. Don't take it for granted about the. See, for example, what will happen if three people are standing at a place, or two people are, I mean, say for example, two or three people are standing. Some fellow will be talking to the neighbor, A will be talking to B, where C feels like these two are talking about me, and he imagines that, okay, these two are discussing about me. Usually when two people are standing away and the third person looks at them and they cannot hear, he cannot hear what they are talking, but when they look at these fellows, okay, and they are looking at this guy, some misunderstanding happens. It looks like they're talking about me. What is there to talk? నా గురించి వీళ్ళేదో మాట్లాడుకుంటున్నారు. అరే, why is that someone has a time to talk about you every time? Don't defend every time and don't say that, okay, is that about me? Don't argue or try to convince the other person of anything. I mean, like, this argumentative culture, it's not correct. It's actually not correct. Don't argue or try to convince the other person of anything. If you're really correct, you don't need to beg or convince. It's actually the same, right? And then this is also, I mean, there are some other points I really wanted to come up. So overall thing is, what I feel is when you're trying to be in silence, there are a lot of dangers. But there is a time where you need to be in silence and you need to react or respond positively or in a such a way, okay, where you can know the value of the time and where you know that, okay, these things can happen at this particular time. And moreover, dealing with people is very 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 important. If you're dealing with 100 people in a group, okay, we should know what sort of messages we should send on the group. We should know what sort of language we should send on the group. We should know what sort of information we post on the group. We should know what sort of words we use on the group. At the same time, we should also know what sort of people we should have in the group. Not that everyone in the group are valuable, not that everyone in the group are worth of being in the group. Only very few people are worth of being in the group. Only have those people who are really worth of being there. Why to have every Tom, Dick and Harry out there? Number one. And number two, people will try to, I mean, when there is a problem, when they feel like, okay, the problem is because of Karthik, people might come up with arguments, disruptions, I mean, distractions, everything. But this is how what, even at home, when my father shouts at me, when something goes wrong, I keep silent. I know, let him shout. Either there are two things, either I might have done a mistake with knowledge or without knowledge, or he must have got some information where he's not true about it. So let him completely speak. Not only my father, any of my family members. Let them completely speak. And then let it be understood completely. And then you give your version in a silent way, polite way. Or silence at times help to cut the arguments, to cut the discussions, to cut the unwanted details at one point, and you move away from there. How many times they'll argue with you? They'll stop at one point of time. So this is what I felt about why to be in silence in many cases and why you should not be silent. And typical people will be around us. Typical people, difficult people. I mean, why to rely on a first-hand information, especially my dear parents and those who are lovebirds or those who are children, anyone to that matter, even the business. Never listen to someone saying like, I mean, you saw in many movies also. Never listen to someone and misunderstand the conception or misunderstand that and then try to get into a conclusion. If possible, try to personally observe, understand, and examine, and then come to a conclusion what is right and what is wrong. I've given a bank example. Now, probably the person who said that I have robbed may not have the right information. But when the right investigation has been done, by mistake, this 1 lakh has been misplaced with some other cash and it is being tallied additionally as 1 lakh in some other location. Now that 1 lakh is same. Now, if they want, they can check the serial numbers what are assigned to me while giving the cash, handovering the cash. There's a way. There's a way. What all you need to know is have some patience, have some belief, have some trust, and do not defend every time. Do not say I can. Let me know what I can do for you, or let me understand it better what we can do together, right? So these are some of the points on a Sunday I just wanted to share, and that is done. And from your end now.
Yeah, as usual, Karthikeya, very happy. I just want to add 3 points, sir. Can I add?
Yes, sir.
First point is, if you do all your work silently, results will come. Results will make noise because of communication department. If you do your subject or your subject, whatever it is, silently, then result will make noise. That is first point. And second point is, leaders must make some. I mean, ఒక మంచి అతను సైలెంట్ గా ఉంటే 100 మంది చెడ్డవాళ్ళు ముందుకు వస్తారని నేను నమ్ముతాను, నేను అనుభవించాను, నేను చూశాను కూడా. ఒక లీడర్ ఖచ్చితంగా మాట్లాడాలి. లీడర్ మాట్లాడితేనే ఒక విలేకరులు కానీ ఎవరైనా కానీ మాట్లాడాలి. ఇది నేను తర్వాత చెప్తాను ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ లో. థర్డ్ వన్ ఏంటంటే, నాకు ఇష్టమైన పాట మీ అందరికీ అంకితం. కెన్ ఐ సింగ్ సార్?
యా.
మౌనంగానే ఎదగమని మొక్క నీకు చెబుతుంది, ఎదిగిన కొద్దీ ఒదగమని అర్థమందులో ఉంది. అపజయాలు కలిగిన చోటే గెలుపు పిలుపు వినిపిస్తుంది, ఆకులన్నీ రాలిన చోటే కొత్త చిగురు కనిపిస్తుంది. ఈ పాట వినండి, ఎంత మోటివేషనల్ వర్డ్స్ అంటేనండి. ఇలాంటి పాటలు వింటా ఉండండి, మీకు ఆటోమేటిక్ మోటివేట్ అవుతారు. నేను ఐ విల్ ఆల్వేస్ బి సెల్ఫ్ మోటివేటెడ్. ఐఎమ్ వెరీ హ్యాపీ టు సే. అండ్ సార్, వన్ స్మాల్ క్వశ్చన్ సార్. అంటే సైలెంట్ గా ఉండమన్నారు, డెఫినెట్ గా సైలెంట్ గా ఉండాలి. వైలెన్స్ చేయకూడదు. ఓకే, ఐ యాక్సెప్టెడ్. అంటే ఎదుటి వాళ్ళు ఎంతమంది ఈ సైలెన్స్ ని యాక్సెప్ట్ చేస్తారు? అంటే అది దాన్ని అమాయకత్వంగా దాన్ని అంటే మన ఫ్రెండ్ ఒకరు అతను అన్నారు, ఇఫ్ ఎనీబడి వాంట్ టు కిక్ యూ బిఫోర్ వాళ్ళు మనం చేయెత్తేలో మనమే చేయెత్తాలనే మాట మా ఫ్రెండ్ అన్నారు. అది ఎంతవరకు మీరు యాక్సెప్ట్ చేస్తారు?
అది ప్రతి సిచ్యువేషన్ సార్. ఒక విషయం చెప్తాను, మనం పుస్తకాల్లో చదివే చాలా ప్రిన్సిపల్స్ అన్ని సిచ్యువేషన్స్ కి కామన్ గా వర్తించవు. ఓకే, ఐల్ టెల్ యూ వాట్. నాట్ దట్ every doctor deal with the same problem in the same way. Not that every driver will drive the bus in the same way. Same thing. Not that every principle printed in the books cannot be useful for every situation. Molding ఉంటుంది, దాని మోడిఫికేషన్ ఉంటుంది. మన నెత్తి మీద ఎవడో చేయి పెట్టే బదులు ఇవన్నీ అని అంటే అవన్నీ వినడానికి చాలా బాగుంటాయి. బట్ ఓన్లీ థింగ్ ఇస్ ఆ సిచ్యువేషన్ లో మీరు ఎలా రియాక్ట్ అవుతున్నారు, హౌ బెటర్ యు ఆర్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ద క్వశ్చన్. నౌ ద క్వశ్చన్ హియర్ ఇస్, when someone is trying to take an advantage of your silence, I don't say that you still be in silence. Let them complete whatever they wanted to say. Now it's your turn. Okay, if the other person is a fellow who is without any discipline or without any manners, but we cannot behave the same way. You show your professionalism, you speak the way you can speak, and you still say this is what we can do if you are okay with it. And if you think that I'm silent, it doesn't mean that I'm accepting everything. I know what I'm correct and many people know what I am. That's it. Because the more you argue, it is like a big bubble gum where it keeps on stretching and it will never have an ending. At one fine point, it will get disconnected where both of them will get injured. So let us not drag things to an extent. If you think that the situation needs to be dragged, make your silence, let it be. That's it. We don't want to get into violent stage in terms of words or physical. Yes, argumentation should be avoided.
Exactly, sir. And the leaders and media persons are debating. So what do you suggest on debate? I find a lot of debate.
I've been in a couple of news channels, especially during last election and this election. I spoke with media people and I was just sitting in the middle. I had 2-3 party fellows on the other sides. And at one point of time, the host was asking me, Karthikeya, you're not talking anything. I said, if I get one gap, one small option, I can speak. When they are shouting like everything, where is the point? If you want, I'll leave the studio. See, the thing is, when someone is finding themselves in front of the camera, when someone is finding themselves in front of many people, automatically one factor comes in mind that I wanted to be a hero. I wanted to speak something where people will focus, grab my attention, or I can grab people's attention. It's a senseless discussion. It's like I said, right? Many of the discussions that happen are of zero meaning. They're just meant to spend time for half an hour, 1 hour. For every problem, there is a solution. But for every solution, we are creating a problem where the solution will never come up. That's the one thing happening. Every problem in India has a solution. India-China fight can be stopped. Not only India, any country. Every problem has a solution. Any fight can be stopped. Any infection can be stopped. Any responsibility can be increased. And also, like Madhu sir was saying in the beginning, sir, if people have got that self-responsibility and self-realization that if because of me 10 other people will get affected, then infection will not spread, sir. Only thing is they wanted to have that publicity stunt, carelessness, and they feel like I can do anything. Who will stop me? Sir, what if our silence brings more anger to other person? Gautami gar, anger will not stay for more than may take it for 5 years, 5 or 10 years. It's okay, fine. But how long they can be angered? At one point of time, they'll come and ask, at least you open the mouth and speak now. I cannot shout it anymore. You wait till that point, till they get exhausted, till they feel like I cannot shout, I cannot show anger. At least open the mouth. You see in Telugu movies, Brahmananda will be requesting, don't be silent, Babu. You should just speak up something. I'm getting fed up. Things will definitely happen. It's all the patience testing. So just be silent. Let the people shout. Let the people argue. What will happen? For how many years? How many days? Maybe for 10 days, 20 days, 50 days. After that, they'll come and request you and say, yes, sir, you're right. Or you say something, I'll accept it. This is what happens most of the time. Ramohan sir, good morning. Okay. Any other points to be discussed? Any other questions or discussions? I don't say questions, but discussion. Madhubabu sir, you're there? Gautami says thank you. Rajshekhar Garu sir, you can speak. You can actually unmute and speak, sir.
Sir. Good
Yes,
afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, silence and ahimsa, they may be contradictory, but how to apply in the case of the civil problems?
In case of civil problems, silence or ahimsa, many of the civil problems, like in police language, you mean to say if it turns out to be a law and order, if it turns to be a violent issue, right? That's what
Yes,
you
sir.
mean.
Yeah.
See, when we look deeply investigate into it, many Rasta Rokos or many buns, whatever happens, they are not self-planned or self-designed. They are driven by something on the back end, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is instigated, yes, sir.
Exactly. So whoever are participating in it, it's not volunteered by themselves. It is on a different paid basis, number one. And number two, those who are seriously doing it by themselves, okay, they know how it should be protested and they keep very silent. But those people who are not silent, who are trying to make a damage, when it is being wantedly created by someone, only option remains is a damage and a violence.
Yeah.
Okay. But if someone wants to silently protest, yes, it is very, very, very possible. And it has a lot of success rate than making a lot of violence or damage.
But it will take time, no, sir? It will take time.
It will take time. It will take time. It is not like an instant answer or an instant resolution. It will definitely takes time. So we need to have the patience. I said that's what, when you don't have a patience, when someone is lacking patience, results will automatically ruin. So as long as we have the patience, we are ready to take the pain. And this is mostly taken by those fellows who try to live very honestly, straightforward, and they will only get all the, footprints or marks of a whip. They'll get all the marks on the body. They'll take everything. They'll be ready to collect a tomato, egg, or anything on the body. But those who really make a sound, they throw something on others. So better to be silent. But when the time comes, yes, we can speak up. Until then, you pull up the information, what you need to observe the things around, what went right, what went wrong, what you can do, what you cannot do. Keep all the information ready, and the day your voice needs to be open, that day you open up. Simple.
We can explore on the day. We can explore.
Exactly, sir. Exactly. You speak out.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Ramon, sir. Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Andy. Karthikeya garu. It was a nice flow. What you were talking was in a very good flow.
Sir.
నేను ఒక పాయింట్ షేర్ చేయాలనేసి.
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Since you were talking about the silence and the opposite of it, violence or sound, the point ఏంటంటే మనం ఎక్కువ మాట్లాడిన కొద్దీ ఒక మాట ఇంకో మాటకి దారి తీసి we will be wasting lot of time.
Yes, sir.
Instead, నేను నా మెసేజ్లో దీంట్లో కూడా చాట్లో కూడా పెట్టింది,
Yes, sir.
unless it is warranted, we should not talk. అదొక ప్రిన్సిపల్ పెట్టుకోవాలండి. ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ డిఫికల్ట్, బట్ అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం నాట్ ఇంపాసిబుల్.
True.
ఆ తర్వాత మనకి ఇన్పుట్స్ మీద ఎక్కువ కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేయాలి సార్. అంటే లిజనింగ్ కానీ రీడింగ్ కానీ.
Okay.
Listening and reading, it goes impliedly without expressing it that it is of a good thing, quality thing.
True, sir.
Each unit of time, say each minute, if we go on doing a proactive work, the result of which will add to our experience, that will help us in the future.
True,
For
sir.
5 years వరకు మీకు మంచి ఇన్పుట్స్ ఉన్నాయనుకోండి, గివెన్ ఎనీ I mean the respective age of the person, whether 20 or 25 or 30, if you go on receiving the things, knowledge,
Okay.
input ఎక్కువ ఉండి స్టోర్ చేసుకుంటే, ఫిజికల్ థింగ్స్ కి there is a limitage for storage, but for knowledge there is no limit.
Limitation.
And more the knowledge, more comfortable the person will be with advancement of the age.
Right, sir.
ఈ యాటిట్యూడ్ లో అంటే టూ మచ్ ఆఫ్ అన్నెసెసరీ టాకింగ్ ఈజ్ ఏ షియర్ వేస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఎనర్జీ, టైం, అన్ప్రొడక్టివ్.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Absolutely. We should know where exactly to interrupt that discussion. We should know what sort of words are needed. Are they really needed or not, as you said? And we should also be having some knowledge. We gain the knowledge in such a way that it can be used when and then it is correctly needed. That's what you mean to say.
Exactly, sir. Exactly.
Thank you, sir. That's wonderful. So, Karishma says when a person is doing wrong, should be silent or should speak up. When a person is doing, it's an ongoing, or if he has already done something wrong, okay, before you speak something, you understand what are the points where he can be corrected and what are the points which can make you to speak very strongly, even if it is ongoing, so that the other person will not have a voice to rise above you. It's very important to know. Do not immediately react for everything. Wait for the right time, observe the things, and then only you speak about it. I hope that will help better. Can we all, accept the... Yes, got it. Someone was on mute. Yes, sir. Anyone else has something to speak? They can unmute. Only that speaker can unmute.
So again, can I talk to you, sir?
Yes, sir, please.
Sir, I am Dr. Rashekar, sir.
Sir.
Sir, but these kinds of ideologies, what we try to preach by following this silence, cannot be understood by the society. They are thinking we are different and we are eccentric like that. So unmindful of them, we need to tread straight forward and see that the world is changing at a faster rate. Do you mean to say that I am correct, sir?
Sir, the society, see, when we look at the society, not that everyone are self-decision makers. Many are driven by someone and who makes a decision only when someone gives an answer. So probably Ramon sir also will give an answer on this, hopefully. So the thing is, when we look at the world, if we really feel like silence may not work every time, it's a wrong perception, sir. Silence has always a value. It works every time. Only thing is, it works for those who have a self-thinking ability and self-decision making ability, rather than just simply not taking someone's input and executing it.
Yeah. Yes,
okay. Anything can turn out to be violence, but still, violence is not the solution. But being in silent and taking the thing smoothly is what we need to look at. We cannot go with everyone who may not like us or who like us. So if someone is not liking us, let us leave them silently. Let's not even argue why you don't like it, why you don't come with me. Let us not question. But as Giridhar sir said, and even our Rammohan sir said, only let our actions speak, let our work speak, let our results speak, and automatically people will come to us. Okay, so bother about the society. You care for the society, you live for the society, but at the same time, you should know what exactly you are being treated in the society like. See, initially, when I'm not sure when you were there in the beginning, Madhu sir was saying, who is from a Red Cross society, he was feeling like initially from the day one of Corona, on behalf of Red Cross, they were helping thousands of people. They put themselves into a risk zone. They helped many, and even in fact, they helped me at one point of time for an emergency in medication. When they were doing all these things today, even still, not only him, many NGOs and people are ready to help the society. But what is happening? Why should I take your help? Carelessness. I can move, I can go, I can drive. Our intention is to ensure they keep safe, and we are ready to take a risk in the society and help the people. But when they are not ready to listen, let us help those only who are ready to take it,
Yes,
instead of
yes.
arguing with them. So
Yeah, let us have some boundary where we can
exactly,
have our silent speak. Yes, sir.
exactly, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir,
సార్
Ramon sir.
సార్ పాయింట్ ఏమంటే సార్, ఇప్పుడు కొంతమంది చాలా తక్కువ మంది రిజర్వ్డ్ గా ఉంటారు.
అవును సార్.
అంటే రిజర్వ్డ్ గా ఉండే వాళ్ళని చూసి ఇతరులు భయపడతారండి నా స్టడీలో.
ఓకే.
ఎందుకు భయపడతారంటే దిస్ మ్యాన్ నెవర్ రివీల్స్ వాట్ హీ ఈస్.
ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ.
And this fellow will be keeping the other people always guessing about him.
Yes, true.
మనం అదే ఫ్రీగా ఇంకా తగ్గి లూజ్ గా మాట్లాడితే ఎవ్రీబడి విల్ కమ్ టు నో వాట్ వి ఆర్ అప్ టు. సో మనకేమవుతుంది, we are unnecessarily giving our entire thing into the hands of the other person, is it not? That
True,
we should
sir.
not do.
Absolutely.
ఇది స్ట్రాటజీ ప్రకారంగా. Then ఇందాక ఎర్లియర్ స్పీకర్ వాస్ టెల్లింగ్, society, we are living in society, we are concerned with the society, but we should not unduly bother about the society, bother about ourselves. According to the personality we possess, first we need to understand what is our vyaktitvamu in toto with the help of the SWOT or any other tool. ఆ మన వ్యక్తిత్వానికి కొంచెం అటు ఇటుగా వాట్ వీ కెన్ ఇంప్రూవ్ అండ్ వాట్ వీ కెన్ డూ ప్రొడక్టివ్లీ ఫర్ అవర్ ఓన్ బెనిఫిట్ విచ్ విల్ బి యూస్ఫుల్ ఫర్ అస్ ఇన్ ద ఫ్యూచర్ అనే దాని మీద ఫోకస్ ఎక్కువ ఉండాలని.
Exactly, sir. Because there are two type of people. I mean, even very recently I started changing because I was also very much bothered, concerned about many things around. But I felt, why is that I'm breaking my head for everything when there is nothing happening? I'm there for the society, but let me be safe first of all. And there are two types of people whom you find around. Number one, who really serve the society without any expectation. But there are other set of people who do it for a publicity stunt. They are the most dangerous people. And number three, as Ramon sir was saying, as a psychologist, okay, it is very tough to understand a fellow who sits very reserved and silent. You know, he doesn't give any expression, he doesn't speak, he doesn't behave anything. He just be like a robot, or even worse than a robot. You will be like, what is running in your mind? First, let me understand that. Are you going to kill me, kick me, speak to me, or shout at me? Nothing comes out. It is very hard to understand. So we should be very careful in dealing. But such people, unless or until they come out of that reservedness, even I talk to my people who work with me, don't be reserved. If you have some problem or some challenge, open up. So this is one of the reason, if I'm not really wrong, as per the psychology in your corporate companies, there is no concept of sir or madam. People will call even the CEO by name. The reason is this reservedness will go away. The more space will come in terms of freedom, and they can open up and speak up. Even after 16 years today, a fresher who joins, two people are there with me in my team now who are just engineering graduates. They say Karthik, they don't call me sir, because I have given that space where they can speak up freely. But again, they know what are the limitations. So it's always important to understand how we should speak and when we should be silent.
అదే సార్, ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ. అంటే నేను రిజర్వ్డ్ అంటే మై మీనింగ్ ఈస్ దట్ అనవసరంగా మాట్లాడకూడదు అనేసి, అంతవరకు.
Only when it is needed you open up.
Exactly.
True. Okay, 4 members are arguing, you are there in the crowd, don't open the mouth unless someone comes and says, sir, can you help me, or can you speak on this? If we unnecessarily open the mouth, we will be the center and others will be out. Exactly. And we will be the center picture. Yeah, Giridhar garu, anything else? Anyone
exactly.
else?
99% రామ్మోహన్ గారు, గురువులు రామ్మోహన్ గారు నమస్కారం అండి. చాలా బాగా చెప్పారు. 99% చాలా బాగా చెప్పారు. 1% ఏమన్నానంటే, if you go for group discussion, if you go for public speaking, if you go for anywhere, 1% must speak. Because see, when I being a master motivator, last 7 years back, I was always very silent, very reserved. I'm really very shy to talk to my friends, my classmates also. And even when I was studying BTech, I was 11 years of hostel, my experience there. So I'm very silent guy. Now I'm speaking more because I need to open up and I need to know society. Means I need to talk with the strangers, I need to know others.
ఒక పాయింట్ సార్, మాట్లాడగలిగే ఎబిలిటీ ఉండాలి కానీ అనవసరంగా మాట్లాడకూడదు. దట్ ఈస్ మై పాయింట్. ఇఫ్ నీడ్ బి వి షుడ్ బి ఏబుల్ టు స్పీక్ ఫర్ 1 hour 2 hours. దట్ షుడ్ బి దేర్. కానీ నాకు మాట్లాడవచ్చు కదా అనేసి ప్రతి అకేషన్ లో మనకి కుదిరిన దాంట్లో వి షుడ్ గో ఆన్ స్పీకింగ్.
100%. That's why I'm asking. I'm telling you, sir, 90% you are correct, and following you.
Thank you.
Sure,
Thank you.
definitely. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So, Syed Gausia has a question, sir. Does silence and solution to a problem go together? I mean, it is very tough. It all depends how you drive it and how you manage it. That's simple. We cannot say like both are good friends and they'll always go together. They might fight together at times. So it depends how you drive them together, madam. So I hope that's all. Does anyone has anything else to say? I'm just trying to conduct some small sessions like this so that we can know some values and importance, how to be with people, how to manage few things. That's what my intention is. So overall, I mean, the overall gist about this presentation is, even Ramon sir closed it very well. Speak only when it is needed and be silent when it is really needed. Just open the mouth, use it. Success comes, okay, only when you know when you are, should be silent, and you should know how to smile and where to smile. And humor, it is a very damaging thing, trust me. When someone is in a problem, we crack very bad jokes where you are supposed to be silent, and that really turns out to be a violent. If someone met with some, if they are going through a major problem like wife and husband, and if you crack one of the world's finest idiotic joke at that particular point of time, and they both will become one and will be the victim who had a bad joke. So it's always good to know where to smile and where not, where to crack a joke, where to speak, where not. All these things are very important. I mean, I always advise people, before you speak something, try to understand the person, the way they speak, the way they behave, the way they stand with you. Try to at least understand a thing like, is this person really right or wrong? That's more important. And can this ideal person me? How to quantify this? So what exactly is it, sir? Rajshekhar, sir? Can this ideal person me?
That is, suppose I am the ideal person, then how I can quantify myself, sir? What are the tests available? Some any kind of psychometric tests available to find out what is my transition, what is my silence making other people to repent or retreat. So how I can quantify? Any psychometric test available?
We have to psychometric assessment, sir. I'll probably share with you a couple of things.
Okay.
You can go with them, and I hope you have my number, so you can ping me on WhatsApp. I'll send you that, sir.
Sure. Oh, sure. Sir.
I'll definitely do it. We have a lot of psychometric assessments. We can evaluate ourselves.
Yes, sir.
So that's all. Thank you very much to everyone for being so patient. I hope again today it went for almost 1 hour. I really wanted to. I don't want to make a robotic session here. Today 6:30. School children, Pranava Sai talk, present situation of women in society. Yeah, we have a session in the evening. Actually, I thought of having my session in the evening, so I cancelled it. So I moved it to the morning. So that's one of the reasons. So see you all in the evening. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Happy Sunday. Take care and safeguard yourself. Right? Signing off. Bye, sir. Ramon Garu. Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir. Bye.
Bye, sir. Giri, sir. Bye.
Namaskar, sir. Ramu, namaskar.
No, sir.
Bye to everyone. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Take care. Bye-bye.